Well, my name is Russell Duckworth, and I'm running for Alderman. That's a position on the City Council for the City of Ladonia. I'm running for a position on the City Council in the City of Ladonia at the request of my friends and my neighbors. There's so many concerns that we have here in Ladonia, concerns about financial accountability, and that's the main reason that I'm running. A little bit of background, my family is from this area, as many old Texas families, farmers in the northeast area of Texas. My grandparents and great-grandparents come from the Blue Ridge and Farmersville area. I was raised in Garland, graduated from Baylor University with a Bachelor of Business Administration, have owned and worked in several information technology consulting businesses, including some small businesses and big businesses like Hewlett-Packard and MassMutual. Now I work at American Bank. Well, the inspiration again came from the request of my friends and neighbors. I have generally felt called to leadership in any organization that I'm a part of, whether it's in business or in my religious community or in my community at large. But the main reason that I'm running is because there are some concerns about transparency, about financial accountability, and about the future here. I think we all love and appreciate where Ladonia has come from, its roots, and the people that live here. Some of the best friends we've ever had we've made here in Ladonia since Carol and I moved here in 2019. And we'd like to see some focused goals on where we're going into the future that benefit our entire community. I think the most pressing concern in our community that the council and the mayor in the next term will need to address is financial accountability. And let's face it, money makes the world go round. It's one of the things that we use as not only as a medium of exchange, but to address concerns and challenges that we have that we're just not equipped individually to address. It was my observation and concern when I was on council that these financial accountability issues were not being properly addressed, and I'm sorry to say in the last year since I have not been on council, I still see evidence of that. So as we say in the finance industry, if you mind the pennies, the dollars take care of themselves. And so focusing some attention on the tax revenue that comes from each one of us as citizens of Ladonia, and making sure that that tax revenue is spent in responsible ways as we budget for it, and as the community has an opportunity to participate in the budgeting process, is extremely important. I love this topic. The entire state of Texas, and the northeast part of Texas here especially, is rich with opportunity. I mean, we've seen so many new neighbors come into this part of Texas over the last couple of years, mainly because of the strength of our economy. But specifically here in Ladonia, we have a great opportunity that's developing around Lake Ralph Hall. Now listen, I know there are a lot of hot opinions about Lake Ralph Hall, and a lot of hot opinions about things that are completely in the past. And so some things we simply need to give up hope for a better yesterday about and focus on our future. Listen, water is an immensely important part of life. We are mostly made of water. And so to have a resource like that nearby, which can attract businesses that rely on water for their operations, and attract businesses that support water operations and entertainment and enjoyment of something like Lake Ralph Hall, is extremely important. We're looking forward to seeing this area grow, but just like you, I'm concerned that it maintain its unique history and heritage and background. And Carol and I bought an 1898 Queen Anne Victorian home here in Victoria, specifically because we loved the way the town looked, and we loved the opportunity to do some updates, some maintenance, some deferred maintenance that needed to be done on the house to bring it back to its former glory. So just like you, we're committed, we're invested in this community, and we're looking forward to the great things to come. Strategies around these topics are very important. And it's also important to realize that strategies are not specific actions that need to be taken. Again, as we've discussed, money is the most important thing when it comes to the ability to pay the people that we need to be resources for law enforcement, as an example. and to pay for things like maintenance of our roads, deferred maintenance of our roads, and the new roads that we'll need as this community grows. And sure, we can ask the developers who come in here to make sure that they're prepared to take care of those expenses, but we have to be willing and ready to do what's right the first time we engage one of those developers, because we only get one bite at that apple before that opportunity is gone and we have to live with it for the foreseeable future. Public service, public safety is forefront in my mind. Just within the last several days, we had an individual that decided to let himself into our home, unannounced and uninvited. The sheriff was called, and that individual is currently in the Delta County jail. So public service is something that's at top of mind for me and my family right now. We need to have a focused strategy on what we want and need as a community here in terms of local law enforcement and engagement and involvement of the sheriff's office when we need them. Lots of opportunities here and lots of strategies, most of which revolve around the need for the funds to pay for this. Again, some of that's going to come from our new residents as development improves overall property values and the property base, and those taxes will flow right into the city. Then we can begin to look at improving some of these issues. Yeah, this is a really important question and one that I'm committed to personally, and there's no reason why transparency just should not be the top priority in everything that we do. We have so many great ways that we can get information out to our community. Facebook, we see a lot of activity on Facebook around town about community-related items and community groups. There's not any reason why the city can't have a Facebook page and post important information to that page, like, here's the council meeting date and time, and we would like you to be there. Here's a copy of the agenda so you can be informed about what we're talking about. And following that meeting, here's a copy of the financials that were approved last night so that you can see under the hood of the city of Ladonia and how we're spending your money. And I hate to keep reminding everybody of that, but it's true. This is money that you go out and work hard for and you use to pay your property taxes. And once the money goes into that building downtown, Ladonia, you still have the right to understand how that money is being spent. So let's get transparency back in play here and just be as open as we can. I strongly believe that there's not any reason why any of us should have to make a public information request for the basic financial information that comes out of City Hall. Well, there's no doubt we have to get local law enforcement back into the community. I'm still questioning where our current police chief is. We, last I heard, have a police chief. I'm not quite sure where he is. It concerns me, again, because of my recent experience here and needing law enforcement that took the Fannin County Sheriff's Department about 35 minutes to arrive after my call. That's a lot of time if you're needing help, whether it's law enforcement or medical help. And we're very blessed to have the Ladonia Volunteer Fire Department here and Chief Grady Howard and his crew local and available to help us when we need it. But as our community grows, we need a larger presence from law enforcement and a local presence for law enforcement. So between getting our local police department back online and back to the strength that we require as citizens, and properly funding the volunteer fire department so that they can have the equipment and the training that they need, and engaging the Fannin County Sheriff's Department in ways that make sheriffs and sheriff's deputies more available to us when we need them. I understand there are some candidates running for Fannin County Sheriff and the Commissioner's Court that have an eye on improved and increased sheriff's presence, and I fully support that. You know, sustainability and the environment is just foundational, right? If we don't take care of what we've been given, it's such a blessing, we won't be here to appreciate it very long. But we also want to see things improve. So just being aware that it's our responsibility to care for what we've been given while we improve the needs of our community should be top of mind for all of us. I think one of the things that I think back over the last year or so about was the Lake Ralph Hall Zoning Board had asked for citizens' comments on their zoning plan. And I went before the commissioners and the representatives on that committee and requested that we get a dark skies ordinance inserted into that zoning document. Listen, we love it out here. We love the dark skies. We like how quiet it is at night. And the last thing we want to do is bring a lot of development in here in Ladonia and in Fannin County that brings in noise pollution and light pollution. So I was very happy to see the zoning board take that suggestion and make it a part of that zoning plan. Well, just because you're not a member of the city council or the mayor doesn't mean you're not a leader. You're a leader in this community if you choose to step up and step out to help our community as an individual in this community. And I will extend open invitations to anyone who cares enough to get involved. I think that's one of the things that we lack currently. People don't always even know when the council meetings are because they're posted in one place. Now, I try to take that information and post it on Facebook, but even the reach of Facebook is limited in a lot of ways. But setting goals is such an important part organizationally of what we need to do. Listen, we've got some great challenges. Most of those challenges are associated with having a limited budget and an unlimited list of things that need to be maintained and improved. But unless we get those goals down on paper and set specific, measurable ways that we're going to achieve those goals in a timely manner, we don't even know what we're focused on. And so working as a team, and I've had many opportunities to work with teams and large organizations who represent different backgrounds with different objectives, but we're all working toward the same result in that organization. And that's what the city council needs to do, is to focus on the needs of the community and not personal needs. Well, I honor and respect the trust that people give me. And it's interesting when we talk about trust because some people say, well, they're going to have to earn my trust, but that's just not how we work as human beings. And if you've ever been to a restaurant in a new town or some places you've never been before, you trusted that kitchen staff was going to handle your food properly and that they'd wash their hands and that everything was done according to the health code before they brought that food out and set it in front of you. You just trusted them. And then if you had a bad experience, you withdrew that trust. Now I ask you to take that perspective and look at what's going on here in the city of Ladonia. You've given your trust to some leaders here, and we look at the financials and it looks like the bank accounts are overdrawn. It looks like money has been spent in inappropriate ways. It looks like there's stuff that's going on that we just don't even have a clue about because there's no transparency. So I'm asking you to trust me when I say that transparency is just lip service to some folks, but to me it's everything because I understand what it means to need information as a member of this community and not have access to it, even though I've made the proper requests. It's important for us to come together and set goals. And it's not just about the 5 council people at that table's interest and goals. It's about bringing the entire community together to say, listen, we've got limited funds here. Where do we want to focus our energy? Because we can't do all of this year. And asking you individually and inviting you to be a part of that, I think is a big piece of it. So I'll do that right now. If you care about this community, I'd invite you to come to the council meetings and participate in your government. Listen, everybody in that room has 3 minutes to talk to the council, to tell that council what they feel is important in this community and for them individually. And as council members, we should take that to account. We should take that to heart. And so I'm asking for your vote, and I'm asking you, yes, to trust me. Thank you.